specifically on trees. I call it creepy and kooky. Sounds like the Addams Family, doesn't it? Well, perhaps you need to search for fall webworm, and you'll recognize their handiwork. But don't let me tell it. Joining us, as he always does, is local arborist Lou Meyer, back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone to help break it all down for us. Hey, Lou, good to see you, sir, and welcome to the show. Hey, your side. Okay, there we go. I got you. Good to see you, my friend.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, sideways there. So from the UN to fall webworm, what a pivot. Love it. Lots of stuff going on in the world today. Lots of things to be aware of.
Yeah, I tell you, well, that's one thing about this show. You never know what you're going to get. In this case, well, quite honestly, I prefer the webworm over the UN. So this is really interesting to me. I bring that up because I was on vacation last week, and I did take a stroll, and I did see one of these webs, and I just thought it happened to be a spider, but I guess what you're telling us is that's not the case.
Yeah, fall webworms, or Hyphantria cunea for those who prefer the Latin nomenclature, is not a spider. And it's not a worm either, as the name would imply. It's not a fall webworm, even though the name is. It's actually a caterpillar. It's a moth.
Wow.
So it's it's one of our beneficial pollinators that's out there. Beneficial that it is a pollinator as a moth. But the reason why we're talking about it is because they do show up, and they do pose some threat to your trees, and they're definitely something to be aware of, right? So a lot of your viewers probably are in the same boat as you. They're either walking or driving, and they see these giant webs on the side of the highway or on their pathways that they're walking on. And so they're moths, and before they change over to moths, they're caterpillars. And they develop these webs to protect them while they're feeding on the leaves of the trees.
Wow, it's so intriguing. I mean, every time I get a chance to chat with you, I am just truly amazed. I guess the next question I need to pose is, what should I do? Meaning, should I run into the house, grab the broom, and knock that web down, or just leave it alone?
That's the right question to be asking. And you should ask that about all issues that you see with trees. So trees are living beings like you and me or our pets, right? So there's constantly nature, and there's constantly effects that are changing the world around them as well. And fall webworms are no different. Now, here's some good news, Guy. Fall webworms can be unsightly, and they can damage trees. And if your tree has a lot of issues already, they can pose a risk to the tree. But for the majority of the trees that you see fall webworms on, they're not a giant concern for the health of the tree. They're more an aesthetic concern. So say you have a willow tree or an oak tree or a hickory, which is some of their favorite species. They like cherries, they like walnuts. Say you have one of those in your front yard, and that's the centerpiece of your landscape. That's what really ties it together. And it's inundated with these fall webworms. Well, the health of the tree might not be too scary, but like you said, if someone walks up to the house, if you look outside and see these webs on your trees, you might freak out a little. At that point, it's a good idea to address them. And there's a few things to consider. One, we always talk about damage threshold when we talk about damage to trees. So every person has their own threshold that they'll allow. I have a very high threshold for damage because I know trees really well, and I know when they're getting over a certain line. Some other people might get freaked out by things, and that's perfectly okay. We're here to help. At that point, you want to remove those fall webworms from the tree. The best way is through mechanical removal. Take a pair of hand pruners or a pole pruner and cut those little sacks out of the tree. You can dispose them off property. If you really want to get rid of them, you can soak them or dunk them into a bucket filled with an alcohol and water solution, things like that. But really, just getting them off your property is all you need to do. Because again, they're not causing a tremendous amount of harm to your tree. There are products that you can use, so things that you can spray onto your tree, foliar applications of insecticides, insecticidal soap or horticultural oil are two low effect approaches that don't damage our beneficial insects as much. But keep in mind, a lot of beneficial predators feed on these things. So don't go wild, because you might end up killing the animals that we want to keep out there.
Wow. I would add, Lou, to not use a blowtorch, if you will, which I saw someone on TikTok doing. Not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, that is something that we didn't used to do, but yes, it was something that was recommended once upon a time. Don't ever do that. You're going to end up on TikTok or YouTube, or worse, in the emergency room or a jail cell. Don't ever try and burn these things off. It's just not worth it. The damage to the tree isn't enough, and the potential damage to you and your property is not enough.
Yeah, although we are talking about the fall webworm, it will not officially be fall until about an hour and 15 minutes from now, Lou. With that being said, anything else I should look for, I should be on the lookout for with regard to as we approach a new season and I'm looking at my amazing trees in my front and or backyard?
I mean, all sorts of things. This is the time to inspect your trees before the heavy rain and snow and winds come in the fall and leading into winter. So, if on a beautiful day like this, if you have some time to stand out in your front yard and look up, and if you see dead limbs in your trees, especially over your house or driveway or other targets, that's when you want to call an arborist. Call Davey Tree. We make free house calls. We'll come out and assess your trees and get them right for the winter to protect you and to protect your assets.
Absolutely love it. Lou, folks want to find out more information about you and or the fall webworm. How would one go about to do so?
Yeah, so you can start by going to davey.com, which is Davey Tree's website. Also, for those in the DMV area, the Maryland Extension Agency and the Virginia Extension Agency both have all sorts of great publications on fall webworms or any other insect or tree issues out there.
Absolutely love it. Mr. Lou Meyer, he is a local arborist. I'd like to call him my friend as well, and kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Always good to see you, sir.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Happy fall, my friend.
Enjoy the weather. We'll take a quick break, guys. We'll be right back.